So welcome to new episodes of Marketing Funnels with Nipun. So today we have Ben in our show. Hi Ben, welcome to our show.
Hey, how's it going? I broke the ice by looking at the camera a little bit, breaking the first rule. I appreciate you having me here. It's a beautiful day in New York City, and I'm happy to finally meet you in person, talk about some cool stuff.
Great. So we met online lots of time, but right now in front, so that's a different concept on my podcast. Generally, I do it on the studio.
Right.
So thank you first of all for coming to this show. So I was want to ask, how's the New York AI vibes? You are doing lots of stuff in AI.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a huge boom. I mean, I know AI is kind of taken over all over the world, but in New York especially, there are events, connections, communities left and right all around AI. You probably know right now is New York AI Week.
Yeah.
So it's the first time they're actually doing a dedicated AI week. They've always done Tech Week and all that for just general tech startups, investor connections, things like that. But now they're actually doing dedicated, events, conferences, and weeks to this because it's just, no matter whether you work for a startup or if you work for an enterprise or anywhere in between, AI is taking over at least some part of your business, if not fueling your entire company. So people are realizing that, and there's a lot of excitement, and it's like this next big wave, This happened back in the day with blockchain and the internet. This is the next revolution. So, I know we do a lot of events, and I attend a lot of events, and I like to really see what people are building and what's happening around here. So getting a lot of energy.
So I have seen lots of founders go to their events, they attend, they chit chat on coffee, but they are not able to do the takeaways, or they're not able to implement the same stuff.
Right.
So what are your advice? Lots of people attend lots of events, how they can get a good takeaway and they can take action in their business?
Do so. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's good to learn and, research, but at some point you have to take action. And I think a lot of founders struggle with this, and myself in the past too. It's just over analysis. You're waiting for that perfect moment to take action. And I don't think anyone should dive in all the way and bet the whole farm on AI, because there's a lot of risks too, and you got to be careful. So I think what people really need to do is just find a simple, small problem in their company, whether it's enterprise or a startup, and just think, how can we use AI to help with this little thing? Don't think about overturning your whole company and changing everything and firing people and this and that. That's crazy, and that probably won't work out. So think of hey, we are not able to get enough marketing campaigns out there. We're not able to get enough emails out there. How can we use AI to kind of maybe 3x, 4x, 5x the amount of output we get with marketing? So find a small, low risk opportunity within your company where if it doesn't go well, nothing really bad happens. So I think people should just think about, don't take too much action, but at least take some small action. And then from there, you start to see kind of how it works, how it's benefiting you, and you can start to scale out and roll it out with your company.
Amazing. And I have seen there is lots of work before event. You host lots of events in New York. I will ask about your community also. So people lots of time comes, they complain, they enjoy, and there is lots of back efforts. So I just want to take an advice. Somebody wants to start their community. So what are the best tips? What are the things they need to take care? Because handling a community is like handling lots of entrepreneurs.
Yeah. And they all got a lot of needs, and they all have an idea for how your event should go and all that. So for someone looking to start a community or start building a network, the first thing you really got to do, rather than just thinking about hosting your own events, just start attending events that already exist. And this goes with anything, in business or anything. I don't just start a business from scratch without having any idea of seeing someone else do it successfully. So especially if anyone's in New York or a major city around the world, just go on meetup.com, Eventbrite, go on Luma, Partyful. There's all these new platforms that help you find events, whether it's about AI, whether it's about technology, or whether it's about knitting or baking or something that has nothing to do with tech. There's communities for every type of passion. So I would say just start going and connecting with event organizers. You want to connect with a lot of event organizers because then you can sit down treat them to a coffee and ask them, hey, how do you do this? Give me tips, and start having people like that in your network that you can invite out. And then you're also going to build your own network. And then when you finally do host your own event, you got people you can invite, right? Yeah. It's hard if you don't build a network and you're just I'm going to start a community. It's well, you can't start a community if you're not part of a community first. That's a pull quote right there. You don't start without being a part of a community. So that's my advice. And then once you do that and you start building your network, and then it just comes down to logistics and just even when you go to these events, ask them how they got the venue, right? Is it just a happy hour? And establish a relationship with the bar or the establishment that's hosting it. or a co-working space. Start getting relationships with people who actually have spaces you can host events at. And then from there, it's just about locking down details. And nowadays, you can even use ChatGPT as an advisor for hosting events. It'll give you a whole checklist of what to do. But at the end of the day, when you actually do have your event, the thing that's going to set you apart from others is the energy and the vibe you create in the room. So I think what I found that's super important and has made people come back to my events again and again is that they feel very comfortable and included when they come to my events. Because when I see someone walk in the room, if they're looking around like really nervous and maybe they're an introvert, I'll immediately go up to them, shake their hand and say, hey, thanks for coming. What's bringing you out? And I just like have this welcoming environment. So everyone feels like they belong there, even if maybe they're not so comfortable networking. So there's a lot of different things there, but I'd say just start going to events. And then really once you do your own, just think about how you can make people feel really good at the events. And then they'll just come back for sure. No matter what the topic is, they'll keep wanting to come back because they know you're hosting it.
Right. Amazing. And here I have a live example. Like I met you, I think 6 months back at some of the event. Then we just get connected. I'm just giving a live example to my audience. See, and then right now we are doing a podcast. And then that's how relationships build. Exactly. I think that's the best example. And I want to ask, like, there is lots of online event going on, like after COVID, we see online, and you do lots of offline events. Offline events are always difficult to host. So what are your takes? Like, what are good, like online or offline events?
I think hybrid, honestly. So think of it like this. It really depends on your goal. Are you trying to build a local network? Like, for example, before I started doing events in New York and around the world, I started running the Jersey City Tech Meetup. And Jersey City, it's a small little tech ecosystem, and I was doing events in that region. So I had no real reason to do them online or anything because it's a tight community. Everyone's close to each other. Let's all get together and get off the Zoom and actually see each other face to face. But if you're trying to do like a global event series or you have a whole global initiative, then it's good to do a little bit of both. Like if you could do a hybrid event where, and this is not so easy to pull off. I've done it before, but like if you're doing an in-person event, but you can live stream it and actually have someone manning the computer and have an online community tuning in to an in-person event, I think that's a sweet spot if you're able to pull that off. There's a lot of logistics that go into that, but I would say a nice mix and depending on your goals. So like always, I love in-person just because I think everyone is on too many Zoom calls every day and we're all just staring at the screen. So any opportunity to get people off the screen and off the phones and like in real life, I love that. But as far as scaling, that's when it's probably a good idea to start thinking about what can we do to make it virtual, or even start thinking of like a franchise model where you could have different people running events in different cities, which is actually what we ended up doing with the generative AI network, which is how we were able to go global without having to just buy plane tickets to go all over the world and lose money on these events. So different ways to do it, but you got to think about really what impact you want to have, whether that's local or.
So how many members you have in Gen AI right now in the network?
Gen AI network, we have about 150,000 members. I mean, we didn't just start this from scratch. About 20 years ago, our founder and CEO, Frank Casal, he started multiple different ecosystems, starting with the Outsourcing Institute, which is he was in the wave of outsourcing right as that was starting to take off and built a community around that. And then the next one was the Institute for Robotic Process Automation and AI. So like automation back in the day before this whole AI was cool, like back in the early AI, Frank saw that this was kind of the way the world was going. So he's been building this ecosystem for like 20 years now, and that's how it got to so many members. And just over the past couple of years, we did a little bit of a rebrand and kind of were like, all right, generative AI is what everyone's focused on. That's what the big fuss is all about. So now we kind of rebranded it Generative AI Network, and we have new members joining every month, kind of who are interested in this new wave. But it's you don't just build a 150,000 member ecosystem overnight. That's something that takes a lot of time and nurturing. But we got it. It's wonderful to have all these people. And I will just say, like having a community ecosystem, it enables you and empowers you to do anything you want in business, because it's not like we don't really make money from events. That's more of just community building. And you can make money from events. I have before, but generally we just do it to bring people together. But if you have people that trust you and you have a trusted brand and reputation, then if you launch any new venture or new product, then you could have a community of people who trust you and know that you provide value, and they already know you. So it's like you have more of that reputation. So I think it's really important to lead a community, because that just helps with all different business ventures you might have.
Right. And I want to clear overnight, Success is a myth. So
It's
people
not
start
real.
excited. Hey, I see Ben is having a that much community members, but it's like a 20 years of experience and dedication. And the experience you are given, just like I'm giving an example of Russell Brunson. So if we go to the funnel hacking, so there will be around 5,000, 6,000 people traveling all over the world just to be over there. So that's how but it builds year by year we have a trust on Russell Brunson that if he's hosting something, he will give some value. Yeah.
Same thing with like Tony Robbins and Gary
Yeah.
Vaynerchuk, Hormozy. Like, I'll go to any of their events because they're putting out content every day. They're building a community, so it's like they're going to provide value. So it's all about just showing people you provide value, which you do a great job at, just from all the work I've seen you do. And I know you were like one of the top Hormozy sellers with this new book, so that's awesome. And like, you're building that trust and brand, and that's why you're flying all over the world, going to these events and speaking at them. And I just want you to tell Alex Hormozy I said hello, all right?
Yeah, sure. And I will ask that health question also to Hormozy.
Yes.
Even like if you take an example of Gary Vee, yesterday Gary Vee was coming to a private event. There was only 80 members. I get to know about this. I just contacted the founder and other stuff. I got an invite. It is due to like this AI marketing world right now going on. It's a marketing week where I get this. And I got an opportunity and I said he said we are sold out, we are 80, it's a private event. Then I get to good connections with the marketing and other stuff. Then I said, hey, this guy knew me. And I ping him on LinkedIn. Can I get an invite? Then he just sent me an invite.
That's all about knowing someone, man.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. That's why I encourage people go to networking events, start building your network, because at the end of the day, the playing field is getting even. With AI, everyone has AI at their fingertips. So like we all have the same tools and everything available if you want to start a business. So it's like, what are you going to do to set yourself apart? How are you going to find customers and get deals? And that all comes down to who you know. Right. And like you made a few calls, you sent us a couple emails, you're getting into Gary Vaynerchuk's event, right? It's like, it all comes down to who you know. So I think it is a combination of who you know and what you know. But from my experience, it's much more important who you know. You still got to know some stuff. You can know a bunch of people and be an idiot and then not know what to do with any of it. But you can get much further in life by knowing a lot of influential people and making them feel good and showing them value, so they want to help reciprocate and give you something in return.
Exactly. Like what happened with when I was promoting the Alex event. So one of the top 10 affiliates right now who is like ahead of me was one of my friend. And then my team said like, okay, now we are doing a competition.
Now your enemies, chop them down.
So he was on the topmost position and he was like falling behind. And I said like, no, he's my friend. Let's get connected and help him up. Like with some email list and other stuff, because I've already burned out my list. Might be there is something which we can do. So my team was like speculated, hey, some things go wrong. Even we are in the competition, it's a very tough competition. Right. And I jump on a call with him to help him. But he gave me more ideas than what I expecting.
Like, that's actually a wonderful lesson. You're like, wait, you went in to help your competition, but then you actually got benefit from it.
Yeah, then he said, like, Nipun, did you try this? I never heard of this platform. He said some platform like Udemy. I said, it's an education platform. But no, I thought it's education platform, but he said, no, it's Udemy, where you can hire some affiliates and they will promote to their list.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Even I didn't know that.
There you go. So and that's it. Like, I find out so many things. Sure, people post on LinkedIn every day and I try to keep up with it. The whole feed, it's overwhelming. So it's hard to like keep up. But when you go to events and you ask people what's doing that works for them, and you get you meet with someone for coffee and you get these insights and they tell you, oh, I'm using this tool, or you'll sign up for this newsletter. It's telling me all like the best tools for business. That's where I get all my greatest insights. And it's reciprocated because I share all the stuff I'm learning with the people that ask me too, right? And I think New York City needs more of what you did in that competition. Yeah. I try to be very collaborative here and think about what's a win-win-win across the board. How can we all win together? Right. How can we like collaborate and create these? And I had that attitude until someone fucks with me. And then I'm just like, all right, I'm not helping you win, I'm crushing you. But in general, I think if more people had that mindset here, we don't need to step on people to get to the top. Right. I really believe there's enough opportunity out there that we could all win, and we can all, if we help each other get there, you're going to actually get further. Because if you step on people, you might get somewhere quickly, but people will find out who you really are. Yeah. It doesn't last. That success doesn't last. If you're like a bad person, it's better to just actually be authentic and really try to help people and not just try to always get something from someone. Right. You know? So I think you got to come to New York more often and spread that vibe. But calling your competitor and being like, yo, let me help you out a little bit.
Right.
And it's like, you know what, that came back to benefit you.
And then he also scored in the top 10. He was on the 10th position. I was on second. Now we both are going to Hamosi, and he said,
Give you a beer.
like, I will take care of your coverage with Alex and you will take care of mine. I said, perfect. We need not to hire someone to cover us.
It's amazing.
that's
That's perfect. Look
Yeah.
at that. It's a win-win.
And now there is some free events on like Luma, Meetup. There's lots of them. Which one is your best platform to host events?
I know everyone's talking about Luma and Partyful a lot.
Yeah.
I personally love Eventbrite. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because there's amazing built-in SEO in Eventbrite. Like, we already have this 150,000 member community, but when we post events on Eventbrite, we get such a high percentage, like 60, 70% of people who discover us through Eventbrite. So the other platforms might have tools like that. I haven't explored it as much, but I just know, like, if you put an event on Eventbrite that is very timely and like the right topic. Back in the day, I did a lot of NFT events, so that was popping off.
Yeah.
We've sold out immediately. Like, it just makes it so you can expand outside of your network. So I guess that's another tip to people who are trying to build communities is get on Eventbrite and use really strong keywords that are popular right now, because then even if you don't really have a huge network yet, people will discover you.
Yeah.
So I just found it so great for just getting new people into our community. It's like, and I haven't even really ran ads. It's all organic. So I've been loving that so far. But what about you? What are you, what's your preferred tool?
So generally, like what we do is we host a page, a landing page, then we ran ads.
Do the ClickFunnels thing. So
Yeah.
you got the whole process.
Yeah, and then we give some lead magnet, and then we upsell something. The only difference, what I think I would just want to ask the same question. When we put something as a free, registration is more, but show up is less. And the crowd we get is a bit different. If you
Right.
put up like $10, $5, we get more serious audience.
Yeah.
And if it is more than that, then again, like we get a more filtered audience. What's your call on this?
Yeah, I've had a lot of experience both ways. Like,
Yeah.
I've charged for events, and then it's like, obviously it's harder to get registrations because you actually are selling something now.
Yeah.
But to your point, I would say almost everybody shows up that registers and you make some money on the event. So that's cool. But what I've ultimately gone to is making the events free for attendees and trying to get paid sponsors to offset the cost. That's
Okay.
where I like that more than anything. I've done enough paid events. It's so much work, and I'd rather just focus on a few key sponsors that can kind of fund it. And you got to keep in mind that when you do free events, expect about 1/3. This is my experience, so I'm not sure about yours, but I expect about 1/3 of the registrants to show up. So if you have capacity of, let's say 50 people in a space, I'll make the registration capacity 150. Because if 150 sign up, about 50 show up. But it's free, people value it less.
Right.
To your point, if they pay for it, almost everyone shows up.
Yeah.
But again, I like to make it a very low barrier of entry for people who want to come and get value and attend these things. And then bigger companies who want to get in front of this audience, they pay for a sponsorship. It's a win-win because they get a room full of their ideal customer. These people get to now get value for free, and then we can upsell them, right?
Right.
I mean, they already know we can, because the event's kind of like our lead magnet. That's kind of, I consider it like our lead magnet. We're doing this free event. We often have free drinks and a panel discussion, all this included. So it's like, hey, now you're on our list. And if you like this sort of thing, we have other things to offer and platforms we want to share with you, you know?
Yeah, that's really amazing. And I want to talk to you about some serious topic over here. Like I was boarding a train and I see a symbol like you don't need friend. So there was a locket. There was a chain system. Yeah, I'm just talking about friend.com. And
they paid about, I think, what, they pay like 50 million for that domain or something?
Yes. And that was like, you need not to talk to friends. You will talk to your locket for everything and everything. And you are into some similar domain like Tranquility. We'll talk about this.
Yeah.
So how exactly, like, what's your take on this? And I just want to, like, you are into music and healing. That is again a therapy. Like, it's like, if you want to, like, if I am fed up of it, I will start doing DJing. Like, I am amateur and like, I do like lots of DJing stuff before, but
cool, man.
I love to create new music. That's a new thing. And in your case, but friend is like entirely different stuff. Like, if I am sad, I can go to, and then I've read somewhere, these things will start blackmailing you emotionally. Hey, do you miss me? And this. So what's your call on this?
Yeah, I think that's a little too far. So let me start with this. There is a whole mental health epidemic happening globally. And it's not new, but I'd say it's gotten worse since COVID. And Everyone is like glued to their phone. You're doom scrolling. We're on social media every day. And I feel like there's more of a need now than ever for real life human connection. And I think with Friend is pulling people further in that dangerous direction of disconnecting them from real humans and reality. So I think it's too far, and we need to find solutions that get people back to doing this and talking to each other. And I think there's a sweet spot for AI. AI shouldn't be used for everything, and it shouldn't be like your only friend. It can be compassionate, and it can be something. And this is how we position Tranquil. I'll talk about that. We're basically leveraging this human-like empathic AI to kind of tackle the global mental health crisis with veteran support organizations and veterans. But we're not saying, hey, talk to Tranquila instead of your friends. We're saying instead of waiting on hold to talk to a therapist, like, which has been a huge problem with call centers and like suicide hotline places like that, instead of waiting on hold, an alternative to hold music is talking to an AI agent. I think that's a nice use case, because the other option is sitting there on hold when you're in your own head and you need to just let some thoughts out. But if it's a matter of talk to someone that you love or care for, or talk to AI, I'd say always try to have human conversations. Now, where the balance is sometimes not everybody's as fortunate as me. I have a lot of amazing friends and family in my life. I have a wonderful fiance, a business partner. So I have a lot of people I could talk to. Now, I'm trying to sympathize and empathize with maybe someone who doesn't have as many people that are close to them. So what do you do if you don't have someone to talk to? I say try to go out to events and meet people and build that community. But in the meantime, if you need someone between the people that you're talking to in real life, it could be a gap filler. So I don't have it fully figured out yet what the right answer is. I just know you can't lean too deep into depending on AI to be like that thing for you. And you need to always remember nothing can replace human connections and the energy exchange between someone that you're actually sitting across a table with. One more thing I'll say just to the music thing is, I got to vent for a second, bro. I love music. I play guitar. I play guitar and write some songs, but I don't really do much with it. I go to a lot of concerts. I just love music in general.
Yeah.
I've been on Spotify lately, listening to some of my favorite music. And then, you know, when an album ends, then it just starts kind of going into a radio and playing different songs. The other day, this song came on and I was like, this song is epic. Yeah. This is like everything I love in a song. The vocals, it's like a metal. There's some screaming breakdown. I'm like, this is my favorite. I love this. Who's this band? And I looked it up and it's like an AI generated band. I'm like, no, AI is great, but it can't be used for everything. It doesn't need to be used for everything, because even if a song sounds great, if there's no soul behind the story or like pain that went into writing that song, to me, I don't want to listen to it. I unfollowed all the artists. I'm like, no, I don't want it. AI. Like, I don't want a song just for the sound. I want it for the soul behind the song. So I was like, I said something on Instagram the other day. I'm like, I love AI, but these AI bands have to stop. So I guess all of that to say AI is great, doesn't need to be used for everything.
Even I was reading an article with Spotify. Now they are eliminating those songs. Because just like, if we take an example, Linkin Park. So we are connected with Chester's. Like now they are coming back with
sounds like Linkin Park, this and that. You're like,
and like when I used to create music like in the studio, and then we always take inspiration, but now AI can easily take the inspiration, make relatable stuff like Numb and other stuff, and then you can't relatable with that band. Hey, who is behind this voice?
Exactly. Because I like the artist story, and I like to go to the concert and hear them live. What are they gonna do? Make this like Chuck E. Cheese and have robots up there playing the song? I don't want it. But you're right. It's like if they say, hey, make a Linkin Park and Papa Roach, System of a Down, make a band like that. It's like, it's really then just coded. It's just a code. It's like an algorithm. It's like, no. I want soul behind the music.
Right. And like, so can you tell me a little bit more about the translator, what exactly it works?
Have a good day. We're getting the full New York experience. This is great. So Tranquil AI, this, basically we have an inner circle of people. Me, Frank Casal, the founder and CEO I mentioned, and a couple others that we work with on a few different ventures. A few of those are veterans. And as this wave of AI was getting more human-like, empathetic, emotional, we were hearing more and more from the veterans on our team that they call into the VA or the Department of Veteran Affairs. And they were like, yo, I call in there when I'm stressed out, completely having a breakdown, like PTSD, and they're just placed on hold. They're told to call back in 3 days. They're passed around like a number. And we're like, what? That's insane. And then we heard the same thing about the suicide hotline. And then it's like, it's one thing if you're waiting on hold to talk to your bank and you're talking to a robot and you're like, representative, that's frustrating. But if you're suicidal or a veteran experiencing PTSD, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And you need to talk to someone immediately when you need that support. And it needs to be 24/7, because a lot of people wake up at the middle of the night, 2 a.m. with cold sweat, freaking out, and they need to be able to talk to someone then, not just in business hours. So we were hearing more and more about the problem, and at the same time, the technology was getting to a good place. So we thought, all right, how can we leverage this technology to help the organizations that are helping the people who need it the most? So we're not going direct to consumers. We're not trying to like compete with ChatGPT or these therapy apps. We're going to places like the VA or different veteran support organizations, or anywhere that has a high call volume and the number of staff can never keep up with the demand of people calling in and needs. And that's kind of where Tranquil AI is born. Again, Frank is the founder and CEO. Well, I'm a founding partner, so I've been there since day one. And it's been a journey, man. We've been going out to the market, talking to a lot of people who run organizations like these and nonprofits and face similar issues. And when we went out to the market a year ago, when we didn't have a product yet, the same response from everyone. They said, "We need this now. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready?" We're like, "Oh, give us a second. We need to build the product." So we had a pipeline before we even had a product. And we're like, all right. We've been in a lot of ventures and talked to the market about a lot of things. I've never got as much validation as I did with Tranquil. So that's when we knew we were onto something. A year later, we've expanded the team. We have like 12 A players on the team. We have a complete product, and we closed our first customer a few weeks ago. It's not public yet, so I can't share here, but they're like a large, not small name nonprofit who serves veterans and people in the line of duty. And we're implementing a couple of our Tranquil agents in their comfort homes for veterans in a couple cities around America. So it's the most important thing I've ever been a part of, and I feel really good about it because I really care about mental health and support, and especially for the veterans who, put their life on the line to defend this country. What can we do to help them? And I've always loved technology and leveraging tech to solve problems, but now we're leveraging tech to solve like a social impact problem and really like helping people who really need support. So I feel so good about this, and I'm excited to see where it goes and really take it as far as it can to help put this in the hands of everyone who needs it around the world.
Yeah, you are doing an awesome job in this. Like even I have seen that lots of people, when they are stressed out, if they go to their close circle of their friends, sometimes the circle is like that, they will start poking, making fun of them. And that's where
seriously, like they're like calling out for help, and it's like, oh, we're just messing around being guys. It's like, no, like I need you to listen to me right now. Like I need help, right? And it's like, even if they do listen, sometimes everyone's busy. So it's like, okay, they listen for a few minutes and like, all right, I gotta go, man. Good to see you. And you're still sitting there like, I feel like I'm empty. I got this hole inside. And again, I want to reiterate, we're not trying to do what Friend does and say, hey, Tranquil is your only friend. Just talk to Tranquil. We're saying, go out there, go talk to your therapist, go to the VA, have the real people help you where they can. But when you're in a place where you're waiting on hold and not able to get to a person, now you have a backup plan so you can get immediate support 24/7 in like 40 languages right out the bat. So no matter what happens, you have at least something to get you through a tough time.
Even like due to like Instagram, TikTok logarithms, we are like impatient. So lots of time we are not able to focus on one thing because after a second we keep on scrolling.
Man, our attention span is getting this and this, and with AI, it's gonna almost be nothing.
And that's where like the things comes into picture. Like if you have these music and like where you can at least talk to yourself, what you are exactly figuring out. That's why like I think it's a very good stuff. And I will put that link, if it is ready, I will put that link in the description.
Absolutely,
so that our viewers will get.
Man. Yeah, Tranquil.ai. Yeah, appreciate it, man.
And the last part, like I just want to ask over here, like you are full of tattoos and other stuff. So what exactly this tattoo means? Like everything.
Man, I'm covered. I got like my whole stomach covered. I will start by saying, ow, they hurt so bad. Everyone who says they don't hurt, they're lying to you, man. They kill. And every time I get a tattoo, I'm always like, this is brutal. I'm not getting any more after this. But then you look at it and you're like, oh, that's awesome. And then you keep getting them. But I guess like, I don't know, they all kind of have a meaning and story. I come from like skateboarding growing up and like concerts and heavy metal and mosh pits. So like this is kind of part of the culture that I grew up with. And I like to get tattoos because even when I get more into the business world and I go to these professional events, I want to always have my identity and remind people I'm not just like this stuffy business dude. Like I'm like a real person with a real story. So I don't know, like I got this first tattoo in college. It says "Stay What You Are." That's the name of an album by the band Saves a Day. And my mom actually designed this one for me because I said, Mom, I'm getting a tattoo. It's happening whether you like it or not. She's like, all right, well, if you're getting one, let me at least design it. And then after that, I just ended up being like, all right, well, I have my first tattoo. Let's keep getting them. And then I kind of have each one like tells a different like story. Like this kind of, I don't know, I'm just looking at one, like this hand reaching out with the flower going through it. That's kind of like representative of different emotions we go through. Like sometimes you're reaching out for help or for love or for like something. And that kind of ties actually to Tranquil. And then like, you get ripped open, like nothing, no one answers that call. Like, it's almost like to show you how, even if you reach out, you can just like get put down or rejected, right? But it's still beautiful because you have yourself at the end of the day and you still have yourself and you can always rely on like your intuition.
It was before the brand or it was after the brand?
No, this is way before the brand. This is like almost 10 years ago now. So
That
all,
is what...
like all these are pretty much like maybe like 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago. My most recent one is this one. This one's cool. I like because it's just like trippy and a little like different and crazy and like the animalistic side of you. And my buddy, who's a tattoo artist out in Philly, Mark Bram, check him out, Mark B Tattoos. He has a friend who was staying in New York and needed a place to stay for the night. And I didn't know this guy, but Mark is like, yo, if you can stay at your place, I'll give you a free tattoo. I was like, all right, let me see his work. And he's Calandria on Instagram, so check him out too. But yeah, I was looking through his books and this one just resonated with me because I love art and I love like trippy style, like kind of Picasso sort of thing. And I saw this and it kind of shows that fierce side of you that like, that's like the business side where you need to be a little, not aggressive, but I'd say assertive and firm to get what you want and like make sure no one steps on you. So that's this one, that's the latest one. And then, yeah, man, I got like my whole chest is like a beach and a sunset on it because that's just like my happy place when life gets crazy. So I don't know. Honestly, you asking this question, I haven't looked at these. They're on my arm, but I don't look at them and think of them that often. So you remind me. I'm like, oh yeah, that's about that thing. Oh, and then I got a couple fall leaves. I love the fall season. Like the leaves are starting to change. So I love like that, the colorful foliage. So I always try to do some art that's kind of beautiful, right? I'm not the kind of guy who likes like the skull and crossbones and blood. I like kind of like beautiful flowers and things because it like, I don't know, I like the colors and it brings me a peace and tranquility.
And there is a life example, like you did it 10 years before. That is what I think, like there's a manifestation or the positive energy. Like you were thinking something about soothful, like the parrot and other stuff. And that's where now you're building the brand out of.
Oh, you got to tell us about your tattoos a little bit.
It's totally about music. Like over here, start like from the cloud, it's a God hand where we have the pills and that pills going on. It's a DJ console, so it is coming like this.
Man, that's
and
cool.
From the eyes, there's a raise of piano. Then this is the old school cassette.
Oh, the raise of piano become like the sunrise.
And then this like a cassette, Naughty Beats. Like this is my DJ name, like when I play. And then it's the music waves going on over here. This one is the recent one. This one, the cap, I always
wear. That one's sick. I love that.
Yeah, that cap. And then this is like the headphones and this is the podcast mic and other DJing mic.
Bro, that's sick. What we got to do is get a little AI chip and plug it in there. So from now on, we do the podcast out in your forearm and it actually mics up and goes into there. So let's go. Are you still making music? Like, are you doing like DJ sets or anything?
Yeah,
I think before you answer, I just want to say it's important to remember things like that because I sometimes get so lost in business. I forget to pick up my guitar and you lose that creative side. So I think it's so important to do music. So you're still doing it?
Yeah, I still do that, but not that much frequently because you need to spend times for the gigs and then they will do you like, okay, you are playing over here and here. Like whenever I feel I have a studio at my place, I have a consoles, I do that. And now this on the ClickFunnels Connect, they are having the consoles. So I will be playing some music over there.
Play music? That's amazing, man. I love that. I love the idea of blending like the new world of business that you're in and then like whatever you loved as a kid, whether that's like music or skateboard and whatever. So I guess that's one thing I would just add to people since we're both musicians in a way is just like do the thing you love and make time for that. Even if it's not exactly what your business is, make time for that because that opens up your creative flow for business and really everything in life. So don't lock down that creative freedom, man. Get that out there and play it.
And last time when I was there, I just checked the DJ Snake post. He was playing in New York. I just booked the ticket. I go over there. I already attended in my country also. But over here in New York, it's like an audience of 100, 200 people. And you are seeing like DJ Snake playing over there. And now I'm going to Vegas. They are hosting Tomorrowland in the Sphere.
Are you going to be at Tomorrowland?
Yeah.
Oh, the Sphere. I've been wanting to go there, man. That's crazy, dude.
So they are hosting Tomorrowland over there.
You have an awesome trip coming up,
Yeah.
man. Congrats to you. You deserve this, man. You've been putting in all the hard work, growing, building. So you deserve this trip to get out there and actually see the world and do some business along the way, man. So I'm stoked for you, bro.
And if people wants to connect with you, I will just put that in the description of your brand. But which is the best platform, like Instagram, Facebook,
I'd say
LinkedIn?
Instagram and LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I'll do all like the business posts, talk about AI, use cases, all that. Instagram, I still do that, but that's a little more kind of like fun. And I do like funny skits, making fun of entrepreneurs, and a little more of my like goofy side is on Instagram. So I recommend people join both to see like two different sides of me. I'm a Gemini, so I got two different sides. So you get a little bit of both across the platform.
So I will put that link in the description, and you can do some tech roast show also, because you host lots of tech event.
100%.
These are quite trending.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I appreciate you having me on here, man. It's a great conversation here in New York. I think a lady tried to sell us some candies. I think a homeless guy came over asking for $1. You got, it was a squirrel rat mix over there. We got the whole New York experience going on, man, here in Union Square.
Thank you so much for joining the show. And I will put in the description, go there and just join and connect with Ben over here.
I appreciate you tuning in, everybody. All right, bro. That was fun. Thanks for having me, bro.